So now that you're inside of Roblox Studio, you can go ahead and create a base plate by clicking on the section and open a template. Down there. We're going to close away the toolbox because we're not going to be using them. And as for the camera controls, you can right click around to look around, and you can use the mouse wheel to zoom around and WSD to move my camera around. Holding shift while moving WSD will make it slower, and you can always customize these settings via the file, studio settings, and input the controls, the camera controls, those stuff. There's also other things you can toggle, but you can just not touch them. Anyways, so we can go ahead and create a part here. By default, it's a rectangular prism part, and this is a very basic, very foundation for what we'll be using. So move tool just allows you to drag the arrows to move the part around. Pretty intuitive. Same with the other tools. But basically, as you can see, there's a little box at the top right corner that tells you what are the X, Y, and Z axis. So you can get orientated. And that's the scale tool, also pretty intuitive. You can drag around these round orbs to scale your object to your liking. Very big square here. You can press backspace or delete to delete your part. There's also the rotate tool that allows to rotate the objects by a certain increment. Of course, the move and scale tools, they're all done by increments. You can customize them here. Say let's set that to a lower degree. You can see it goes by 1 degree every time now. You can set this to say 1 stud, and it goes 1 stud at a time now. I think that was, yeah. But you can customize them to your own liking. The transform tool, I think this one's pretty new. I think it's a new tool. It's you can see there's a little grid at the bottom. It allows you to do things more precisely. But you likely would not be in need of that tool for now. So let's go ahead here and create a little platform in the sky by moving our part up and scaling it to be like a platform. That's diagonal. Let's rotate that a bit with the rotate tool. If it does not match perfectly, you can always tune the increment so that you can move the objects to the degree you like. Is overshooting or undershooting. And you can drag the spawn plate, this is called the spawn plate, up. Basically, before we get into scripting how players spawn, this is the thing that will dictate where your players will spawn. So make sure you keep that on the platform, otherwise the players, when they get into the game, they'll be on the ground and they can't access a platform. Of course, there's also the color option, and there's a material option that allows you to customize the texture and color of your objects. So I guess one way you can use the toolbox to help you is by taking some inspiration. So you can go ahead and click on the toolbox option in the home tab, and you can search up Obby in terms of models. And you can see a bunch of other Obby levels that other users have created, and you can take inspiration from them. Make sure to not use them though, because that would just be too easy, and frankly I don't want you to be doing that. But oh yeah, this looks pretty cool. We can make something like that. So yeah, make sure to delete it though. Okay, you don't have to do exactly as what I've done, but here's some designs of levels I came up with. You can follow them, you can copy them, and I'll teach you how to build these 4 very simple levels for your first few levels. So to build the first one, it's quite simple. We just create a simple square part, move that out of the platform a bit so that the player has somewhere to jump, and then duplicate that and move it in front. Make sure they're leveled as well. Well, you can not level them. That's a unique design, but this is a really simple obby that I'm making here, so I prefer to level them. And then we can go ahead, duplicate all 3 that we've created and move it in front again. Remember, you can hold Shift or Control while selecting objects, or just dragging over the objects while holding their mouth to select multiple at a time. So this will make our building process a lot faster, because now we can place 3 bricks at a time instead of 1. I'm just having some difficulty trying to select the last brick there. I think that's a long enough platform, right? We can go ahead and alter a few of these around. You can be more creative, definitely, but yeah, you can go ahead and scramble all those up, but just a demonstration. So the second level I just built, level idea I just built. Here's how you build it. Let's go ahead and put our platform in front of our first level again by copying it so that the player can catch a break. In the future, that's where our spawn points and checkpoints will go. So important that we have a safe platform, or not. You can choose to not have a safe platform. Depends on you. But here's a little platform, square platform that we built, and we're basically going to be checkerboarding them around so that the player has to jump between these. Again, just trying to level the platforms together while copying them. I guess you can go ahead and use the same trick we did on the last level to select multiple at a time and copy paste multiple at a time to build a longer level, but I did not for this one. So yeah, let's go ahead and make our third level again. Let's put a little rest area, copy our safe platform, the rest area, in front of the second level. And we can go on to make the third level design. What it is essentially is that it is a obstacle course where I had to jump around the walls. So just for a brief moment, you're actually in the air with a void underneath you that you'll fall into eternity into. But you change your direction midair and you come back onto the platform. Because apparently in Roblox you're a robot and that's possible. Yeah, you can make the platform slightly smaller. Up to you again. This is just for in case you don't know what to do. A lot of people probably, you should probably have your own ideas of what to do. But if you want to follow along, that's no problem. It's sometimes difficult when you first use a software like Roblox Studio. So yeah, we're just going to place evenly spaced walls that block the player's access down the platform. Yeah, you can make some of the walls thinner or longer so that the player don't get across as easier or get across very easily. Depends on how hard you want it to be, how much time you want the player to be spent midair and uncertain if they will time the return back to the platform correctly so that they can be on solid ground again. And for our final level, this is same as usual, getting a safe platform. And we'll once again create a main platform. But obviously we're going to be adding some challenges in the main platform for the player to complete, so that they don't just like walk across a platform, because that's boring. Making full use of other simple manipulation tools to shape the parts to our liking. I'm sure there's a faster way than that. Like, somebody probably has exceptional scripting skills in Lua, and they can probably do all this using scripts. Like, they're on a ancient MS-DOS type command prompts, that type of coding, instead of using these visual drag and click editors, you know. So the objective of this challenge is that you get these very small ledges that the player had to try to step on, and then be careful to not fall. Here we can adjust the increments for scaling, and we can create a very precise ledge that's just big enough for the player to step on, but not big enough to feel comfortable. By the way, you can also press Ctrl Z to undo, Ctrl Y to redo, Ctrl X to copy, Ctrl V to paste, Ctrl X to cut. I think that's pretty obvious by now, but yeah. Let's test our game. Oh no, as you can see, everything just fell down because gravity. Well, how do we make the game defy gravity? We select all of the parts. Remember, you can hold shift while selecting to select multiple. And you can deselect while holding shift by selecting again, by selecting already selected items. It will deselect them. And then we click anchor. So what that does is that it makes things defy gravity. So now nothing falls down. And we can jump across like this. Yeah, very boring obby in my opinion. By the end, it should be something more creative. You can experience anything. Use the rotate tool, use the scale tool. I'm pretty sure you can build something even more fun than this, even though it's just geometry. As you can see, I put a pro gamer move right there. That's actually my bad, because I did not judge properly how far a Roblox character jumps, so that gap there was way too far. And yeah, here, just jump across the wall. Sorry, not across, around. Oh shoot. Okay, how the frick are you supposed to get across here? Yeah, that's my bad as well. I misjudged that. Mistakes like these happen, so that's why play testing is important. We can just fix that by making the wall slightly thinner and more feasible to jump across, and obviously fixing these platform gap issues so that we don't have to pull out a pro gamer move every time, unless if that's what you want, then good for you, I guess. You can also change your camera sensitivity in the settings, and you can turn on something called shift lock, which basically, when you press shift once, it will enable shift lock that allows you to move or rotate your player camera around while you're playtesting, or sorry, just playing in general, without having to hold down right click. That may help you a bit. And since your character's direction is now in sync with your mouse's direction, it helps with some obstacles like the wall jumping one. Pro gamer move right there. Yeah, this is our ledge level, where I do very cautiously go around the big square box using a ledge. Oh, this one's gonna be hard. Oh, I almost fell right there. Okay, and we made it. Good job. See you in the next one.